Okay, here we are. This is lesson 2 of drawing a mini, and I'm just working on doing the shadowing underneath the car because, again, I always like to start out with the darkest parts of the car, and this shadow will be darker than most of the parts on the body itself. So I'm laying down a base of color on it, and it's going to be darker than most of the areas the car will be. So what that'll do is it'll give me a dark area to work off of so I can see how much lighter everything else will be, and we'll just work around from there. And the reason I do that is so that I can get as wide a range of color values as possible. If the color values are not wide enough, then it's just going to be the most boring drawing you ever saw in your life. So I don't have color to use. All I can use is the values, and those values make the thing exciting or they make it boring. And if I'm going to spend this much time, I do not want to make a boring drawing. So even though you might not like the car I'm drawing, at least the drawing should be good. So that's what I'm trying very seriously to do, is to put enough in this to make it so that you want to see the rest of this picture and see how it comes out. I love minis too. They're really, really cool car. When I said I hadn't driven one, I hadn't driven one until my last trip back to see my sister, and that was at New Year's. And I drove one of hers for the first time, and it is just a pleasure to drive. It's so much fun. Really cool car. So I decided that I would do this one, not just in honor of her, but because I see a lot of these things on the road, and I've talked to a lot of owners too, and they say that they just love the car, and it's good to do a car that's popular. I drove a couple of the old British minis, and they were really fun too. A little tiny car, much smaller than today's mini, but they didn't have the sophisticated engine and all the rest of it that you get today with this package. So it's a life changing event. This one probably has over twice as much power as the older one did, and uh, it might not handle quite as immediately. It handles more steadily. The other one, the original Mini, was kind of like a go-kart with a top on it. So this one is far more sophisticated and refined. It does all the things so nicely and has all kinds of options available for it that, of course, were never on the original cars. Of all the retro cars that have been brought back, I really think this is, if not the best, at least the most closely resembling the original concept of the car. Even though it is bigger than the original Mini, it's pretty true to the idea that it should be a small car and large on the inside and small on the outside, one that's easy to park, but it still carries a lot in it and carries things in comfort too. Um, the one we're drawing here, of course, is a convertible, and that is not what the original car, what the original Mini came out as. And when they brought out the convertible, I thought, boy, this has really got all the fun aspects. Living here in Southern California like I do, convertibles are really fun to have. They can be a pain, of course, when it rains or whatever, and you have to put the top up, but just the same, it's an awful lot of fun to run around on a nice summer day or spring day with the top down and just having a ball. And this is a really good car to do it in because it is just a blast. And people look at you and they still smile when they see you in a Mini. It's kind of like a clown car or something, but it's a real car. I mean, it's a cool car. So anyway, we're doing okay with it. Just trying to darken up, and you see I am darkening up more in the front too. That's one that's in full shadow, and the one on the side, it's going to be darker directly under the car, and then as it gets out, it's going to have more ambient light that scatters the shadow. So we'll have two different values of shadow underneath the car on the right hand side as you're looking at it now, but the left hand side of the car, and that's going to make it a little more interesting too, because you look at it and say, oh, okay, I see what that is. And the more that we can explain with our drawing, the better it is. And if you leave somebody with a couple questions where we have to figure it out, that's good too. Anything that leaves people wondering about it and paying more attention to it is a good thing. Getting pretty close to the end here. I think we're just about to get up and around the corner there. Tomorrow we're going to do quite a bit more on the body. We'll probably start with the wheels and a little bit on the front, depending on how far we get. I want to do some things so that you can see everything we've got on here. I may do the top instead or somewhere else, but we'll see how it works out. I just want to keep you interested and make this a fun drawing. Anyway, hope to see you tomorrow.